Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Survivor 42, episode 9. And this was a good tribal. Good conversation.
We had two.
Happening.
And one of them was really good.
Yeah.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you'd like to support us on Patreon, we'd appreciate it at patreon.com/nerdtainment. Join us over there.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys. What a good episode. I mean, as soon as, we're like, we've been watching this for so long. We look at like the time code when certain things happen, right? So when immunity was at 10 minutes into the episode,
yes,
I was like, okay.
I was like,
we're in for it.
I mean, I know we have like 2 tribals, but like 9 minutes in, we're at
also,
immunity.
Like, there were like 3 commercial breaks in the first 12 minutes, which also never happens. So I was like, the back half of this episode is stacked.
It's gonna be a little something.
Yeah.
And it was. It really, really was. Okay, let's start at the top of this episode because my gays are fighting. Am I allowed to say that, David? Am I allowed to?
Yes, you are. And they are. The girls are fighting. Romeo's like, I'm not mad. It's all good, everybody. And then in confessional, he's like, I'm incredibly mad.
I want to kick their faces.
Yeah.
I hate them all.
And then Hai goes over to Tori and Romeo, and he's like, Tori, did you vote for me? And she's like, no, of course I didn't. He's like, I know you didn't, and I know exactly who did.
I know. The drama dripping from Hai. He is making a scene about his one vote that clearly didn't mean anything.
It meant nothing.
After you were like targeting Romeo.
Yeah, that's the thing this season. Remember when Mike was like, how dare Chanel vote for me? And he voted for Chanel.
Yes.
And this time Hai's like, somebody claimed to be a God-fearing man and then cast a vote for me. And it's like, Hai, you voted for Romeo.
Yes. Like the audacity on some of these cast members who are like, you cannot vote for me.
I'm allowed to target you, but you targeting me? I don't think so.
What? Oh my God, these two were amazing.
I know. But then Romeo's like, my plan kind of worked because now he's acting crazy and people are realizing that he's a problem.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what I wanted.
It's true. That was actually a really good. I was wondering why he felt the need to write Romeo Hai's name down, but it worked. Kind of worked.
Yeah.
But now we're going to see a little group of dudes. We got Jonathan, Roxroy, Hai, and Mike.
At the well, right?
At the well.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And, Hai's like, Romeo, gotta go.
Uh-huh.
But Roxroy's like, you know what? We dudes gotta stick together.
Listen, I am so sick of working so hard and I don't get any credit.
No credit. Nobody is fawning over me. Nobody is like, good job.
Yeah. I'm out here getting the water, getting the firewood. Yeah. Jonathan's going fishing. Nobody's praising us for providing for the tribe. You know what? We got to lock this up. We men, we got to stick together because everybody's always after the men.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. What a rough life.
Yeah.
So Rox is going to bring this to Omar. Omar.
Yeah, Omar. Did you get that video I sent you?
No. Did you send me a video?
Yeah.
You didn't send me
You didn't reply, so I was like, okay.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Yeah. But it's him. He says it. It's Omar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. It didn't go through. All right. But Omar, great. Here we are.
Yes.
Roxroy's going to be like, all dudes.
Yeah.
Gotta stick together. And Omar's like, no.
Well, also Roxroy's like, I'm not trying to be a leader here.
No, of course not.
But I would like to do an all guys alliance, and I'm the one pitching it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, that's not my jam.
No.
Sorry.
He's like, you think I'm going to compete against you and Jonathan in
like
physical challenges? Like, no, that's not going to happen.
Omar's like, I'm crafting an actual game here. I'm playing this.
Yeah.
You do you, Roxroy.
My game is not really about gender so much. It's about who I can be.
Or like providing for the tribe. Like Omar's not doing any of that.
Right.
So no.
And Hai at the same time is like, I'm not part of this misogyny club.
He said misogyny club.
I'm not doing that.
was like, he said it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's right. Yep.
But then Hi's like, so now I want Roxroy out.
Uh-huh.
I was like, Hi, I can't keep up with your targets.
I can't.
Last
week it was Romeo must go.
Uh-huh.
Romeo's still
Romeo
here.
Was not even his first target last week.
Oh, that's right.
I don't even remember who it started as.
It's a moving target.
But then it went to Romeo, and now it has moved to Roxroy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can't.
Right.
But thank you for not jumping on
this. I appreciate
that. But you know what? Who was really listening? The Survivor gods.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, what's this? All dudes want to work together? Mm-hmm. We got a little solution for that.
We're going to figure that out. Two tribes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So again, we are 10 minutes into the episode and we're already at immunity.
Yeah.
And Jeff pulls out that second necklace, right? We're going to have 2 immunities. 2 people are going home, and you're splitting into 2 separate tribes. And one of the tribes is 5 men.
Oh boy, this was the most uneven division I've ever seen.
Yep.
But I find it truly hilarious after they just tried to make this an alliance, and now they are forced to turn on each other, no matter what.
That's right.
One person's going to be safe, and one person's got to go.
Yep. All right, let's get to it. So we've seen, I think we saw this competition definitely in Winners at War. I remember Kim Spradlin being good at it.
We've seen
we've seen this one before where they're balancing just like the edge of their foot and their big toe on this triangle thing. But like the ocean is psychotic today.
Was not going to have it.
It was like riding a mechanical bull, the way they were like rocking back and forth and waving their arms around.
Well, how's this work, David? How's it riding a mechanical bull?
Come on, you cannot tell me that you have never ridden the mechanical bull at Saddle Ranch. You cannot tell me.
So I have to say it to you. We want to hear more about this, David.
It's I'll say from experience, it requires a lot of core strength. Okay. And, No,
usually you take, like, after a certain amount of time, you have to step up on a different thing. But
there's no time.
The ocean was like the perfect storm out there.
Yep.
That they can't even get set. Most of them.
It's like Jeff has to rush to say go because Marianne, Tori, Drea, like Roxroy, Tori, Roxroy, Omar, Mike, like these people are
Roxroy, Mike, and Omar do not even get set up. They immediately fall.
Yeah.
And then Drea and Tori are down within like the first minute. It's so fast.
So fast. I thought Tori was going to last longer just because she's like done some balance stuff before and been good at it.
Yeah.
But this was, it's just tough. Like there was so much luck involved in this one, like were you in the right position when that wave hit your triangle that you're standing on?
She was just trying to get
it was crazy
focused.
So
we should say though, the orange side, the dudes, Mike, Roxroy, Omar, Romeo, and Hi.
Right.
So the other side is all girls. Marianne, Tori, Lindsay, Drea, and Jonathan is the only dude that is over there.
Yeah. So it comes down to Romeo versus Hi. It's interesting that it does end up being like 2 versus 2 on each tribe. Mm-hmm. So it's Romeo versus Hi on the one tribe, and then Lindsay versus Jonathan on the other one. Mm-hmm. Then Romeo does fall. So Hi's the winner, but Hi's still competing because there's the overall winner, right? Where they win the food for their tribe and they get the like advantage of going second, which I gotta say, when Jeff announced that, I was like, I don't know if it's ever really an advantage to go second in the tribal. We haven't seen that play out very clearly. It did this time.
Huge difference.
Really did this time. So Hi wins for his tribe, but he's still competing.
Yeah.
And Lindsay and Jonathan, it is like an epic between the two of them. Again, Lindsay.
Right.
Keep your eye on this woman,
She's
you guys.
Right there with Jonathan so often. And her core, like she was just so many saves.
Yeah.
But to be fair, everybody is. Like it is just not Stillwater at all.
No.
But yeah, Lindsay was so good, lasted a really, really long time. But she is gonna fall, giving Jonathan and Hi this like they're both immune, but like which one is going to win the reward? Mm-hmm. And Hi's gonna fall and Jonathan is gonna win the overall.
Jonathan does like a triple backflip, Salchow like twist and like a pike into the ocean because he is Aquaman.
Yeah.
And so he wins all the food for his tribe and they go back to separate beaches, like no chance to strategize as a group of 10. We're splitting up. So I do notice at this point with Jonathan being safe on that one tribe. It's going to be one man, one woman who's going home tonight. So that was interesting the way that played out.
We're first going to go over to the loser island with all the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And, first off, they're going to be like, well, easy vote, Romeo.
Even Romeo's saying it. He's like, I'm toast. Mike is 100 years old and hates me and he's crazy. So there's just no working with these people. Like, I'm gone.
Yeah. Not a lot he can do, he thinks.
But I'm thinking,
well, Omar is on this.
Because he's like the first target, right? Back at camp. So
sure. Anytime they're like, easy peasy, we know that's not going to happen. But honestly, I was like, Omar is the only one here who is like, I'm going to actually think about what's the best vote.
Yeah.
And Omar is the one who is like, look, Roxroy doesn't budge.
No.
He has an idea, whatever it is, he's fixated on it. There's no changing him. And Omar smartly says, I'm looking for people I can shape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
my gosh,
nobody's
so
shaping Roxroy.
No,
nobody.
You really can't.
So Omar goes to Romeo and he's like, I can get High to vote with us. And Romeo's like, you cannot. You've got to be kidding me. That man hates me. He wants me out. Like, in your dreams, you're going to get High. And I mean, if anybody can get High, it's Omar. Like, from what we've seen so far, he is a master manipulator. So
good.
He goes to High, somehow finesses it.
Yeah.
But High's only thing is, I have to be honest with Mike.
Right.
And I've got to tell Mike. And Mike, not super happy with this plan.
No. And honestly, though, Mike's explanation here was fairly flimsy. He was like, if I go, it makes us look like we're not loyal. Mm-hmm. And I was like, to who?
I guess to Jonathan is the only person on the other tribe.
The bulk of y'all are right here.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is the bulk that said they were going to work together, you have to turn on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So just explain it to Jonathan.
Yeah.
Like I felt like that was a pretty flimsy,
although I think he's just looking at it like, Romeo is such an easy vote, and then we're still strong, all of us. Like, Romeo was never part of the guys' alliance, really, so we can just ditch him, and we'll still be good with Jonathan, So it is flimsy, and it is just a little bit of an example of, like, Mike's a little like Roxroy. Like, we have a plan. Why are we changing the plan?
Right.
It's a little bit of a similar
Mike's
vibe.
like, I get along with Roxroy. We both talk about how we don't want to change our minds.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
But I felt like, even though they leave us unclear if it's going to be Roxroy or Romeo, I felt like we could probably get the votes to get, like, we can get Mike flipped over.
Well, and you don't even really need Mike flipped over. Like, as long as High's willing to go, you have Romeo, Omar, and High to vote for Roxroy.
Right, if he's willing to go against Mike, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's feeling like, it's at least one or the other, but it's feeling pretty obviously Roxroy based on that edit. Then we go over to the other tribe.
Winner group.
Yes, the winner group. They're all eating, having a great time. And Jonathan is like, listen, y'all, I couldn't come in guns blazing because I'm the big guy. And he's right.
Got to keep that ego in check.
And he's like, so I had to wait for my opportunity to make a big move. And this is my moment.
Now that I'm surrounded by these little ladies here, this would be my moment.
I can tell them what to do. And I have power because I have immunity. And I do agree with him that when you have immunity, that is a good moment to sort of like step out of what you would normally do and assert a little dominance. Jonathan just doesn't do it super well.
No, it was hilarious. And he was like, gotta keep my ego in check. Cut to, look, this is how we're gonna vote. Yeah. Okay, yes, you have immunity. So be like, hey, I think we can get Drea out this vote.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Literally nobody likes what he is saying to them, right? He pulls Marianne aside and he's like, we're going to get Drea out and we're going to have Drea vote for you, Marianne.
Like,
and Marianne's like, he's talking
to
me like I'm a little girl and there's just not a lot of, I don't love it. So then she's kind of telling Tori and Tori's like, music to my ears. Like, let's get Drea out.
For sure.
Perfect. But then Jonathan pulls Drea aside and is like, we got to flush an idol. So we're going to get Marianne out. And she's like, but I have an idol.
She's like, flush an idol? That's not great.
Yeah.
She's like, sure, Marianne, but like, I have an idol. Yeah. Right. But this is when it gets really, really good. When he sits down with Lindsay.
Yeah. The third person who's going to be like, you're just not quite saying the right things. Lindsay's like, you're not thinking it through fully.
She was like, if we do that and Drea uses her idol, Marianne goes home, she's the one vote, and then we don't have her idol to use for ourselves.
And we're not like, you keep talking about Taku strong, Jonathan, like we can maintain the Taku 4, but this plan means that maybe Marianne goes home.
The way the editors left in the blank stare from Jonathan was chef's kiss.
It was very good.
Oh my God. Jonathan clearly thinks this far in. And Lindsay was like, let's think about the whole picture.
And he's like, and he's like, and so she's like, what if we tell Drea to vote Tori? That feels like an easy thing. 2 of us can vote Tori. 3 of you will vote Drea. It's all good. And he's like, Lindsay, you are not listening and you're getting hysterical.
Yes. I need you to calm it down.
And she's like, I'm actually not hysterical. He's like, you're acting crazy.
You. Calm down. It's my plan.
I can't communicate with you when you're worked up like this, Lindsay. And she's like, who? What?
She's like, you don't. She's like, you are really good at challenges.
Yeah.
And that's that. Oh my gosh, this was hilarious.
So then Lindsay, we see this brief moment of Lindsay going to Marianne, and she's like, look, Jonathan doesn't get it. But if we get Tori out, Drea has her idol, you have your idol. That's power, right? We don't need Tori.
No, they don't. They honestly don't.
Yeah.
Like, Tori was shocked that her name wasn't coming up. Like, this is the time to take Tori
So Lindsay's
out.
just like, we got to remove Jonathan from the equation. He's got his big boy pants on now that he has the immunity necklace, but like, he's not making sense. So we got to disregard it.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of chaos on that side. It's really unclear what they're going to do.
I felt like even though Jonathan was wearing the necklace and obviously saved this vote, I just felt like this was setting up for his demise. Like, he's not going to last long after this.
If he did not have that necklace, they would have flipped on him so hard in this and been like, you got to go.
We cannot work with you. All right, tribal 1.
Well, they walk in. And it's, I mean, first of all, it's raining. They're freezing.
They're like shivering.
Hi's shivering, right? He like can't control himself. And it's all about, oh boy, this like tribe split really threw a wrench in things. And we had to adapt and be flexible. And that is the opposite of how Roxroy's been playing this game, right? No, bad sign for him.
I heard was Roxroy say, there wasn't even any strategy.
Oh, it was so mellow.
Okay, well, if you're not strategizing, I don't know what are you doing here? What's happening?
If you're not strategizing, someone else is doing it behind your back.
This is not just we're sitting on a beach.
Yeah.
This is a game.
Yeah. And Roxroy's like, we just all get each other. And Jeff's like, Romeo, do you agree? And Romeo's like, no, it was so weird without the women. It's just a bunch of grunting and like scratching, and I didn't like it.
We just sat around acting like men.
Yeah. And Roxroy's like, I don't know. Nothing that was said today changed my mind. And I'm like, this is my surprise face.
Yeah. Omar is just silently going, yeah, I'm outplaying you.
Yeah.
Jets, what's happened?
Yeah.
But you keep talking. Okay. So let's get to the votes because it's just 1 for Romeo.
Yeah. Well, I love so good when they showed Mike and he wrote an R and then they cut away. I'm like, oh, that's good. Editors. It's either Romeo or Roxroy. We know that.
They both start with an R so they can see the R.
Yeah, but it is only 1 for Romeo.
Yes. And the rest are going to be for Roxroy. And he's like, oh,
wow.
People were strategizing.
He's like, huh. So you're saying the plan can change?
No. Change.
That is interesting.
Change.
That is interesting.
Gets you every time.
And look, I agree with this. Vote out.
100%.
I would have voted Roxroy out too. The man
100%
cannot.
He needs to go.
He is not a team player.
He's not, unless you're willing to just do.
Yeah.
And not think and build shelter.
Yep.
Like Roxroy, I don't know what season or what decade you live in, but it does not work on this game
It's
show.
just no good for Survivor.
Yeah.
It's not. So he's gone. I would have voted him out too because it's
100.
Omar's exactly right. You have to like keep people that you can work with in the game.
That he can manipulate.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's trying to win this game.
Yeah, thank you.
So Roxroy is like a stubborn sort of like thing in the way, and Omar's like, I just got to get that out of my way.
Yeah.
So I agree with this, but Roxroy like attempts to walk away, and Jeff's like, actually, you can just sit right there next to Chanel.
You just go right there.
So they clear out. Second tribe walks in. Drea's first. She is shook, and actually, all of them are. It seems to see Roxroy right there on the jury. I mean, it's shocking to just see them sitting right there when 5 seconds before they were still in the game.
Immunity with you.
But Drea is like,
she's triggered.
Gears are turning.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't like what I see here. Chanel and Roxroy, 2 black faces looking back at me on the jury.
And she knows that she is up for, like, she is potentially being voted out tonight.
She knows they're flushing an idol.
Can see 3 black people sitting on that jury, and she is just so shook, so triggered by this.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I really hate that for her, because Roxroy needed to go.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, had Romeo gone, I mean, he's not black, but he's still a person of color, and it still doesn't look great.
Yeah.
But Roxroy needed to go, and so I hate that it threw us into this, but it's so real.
Yeah. But I'm going to say, like, I would say, like, if Romeo goes, I hear you, but seeing multiple people of color on the jury is the benefit of having many more people of color on a season of Survivor, right?
Yes.
Like, it's not like we are overwhelmingly white with the remainder of this tribe. Like, we've got Hai and Romeo and Omer still left on that other tribe, and Mike, like the only white people we have left are Jonathan, Lindsay, and Tori at this point. So there are going to be a lot of faces of color on that jury, but Drea's looking at it as Black people historically have been voted out so early in this game. And initially, Jeff is like asking for immediate reactions. And she's like, Jeff, I don't know what it means. It's back to the drawing board, though. I have to completely recalibrate my strategy and rethink what I'm going to do tonight. I'm confused. You can see her trying to work through what this all means.
Right.
And she's just like, I can't let myself be the third blackface on that jury right away after the merge. She openly says, I am playing my idol.
I am not going to be the next statistic sitting over there.
Yep.
Not going to be me. I will be playing my idol.
Yep. And did you see, like, Chanel was like nodding, because Chanel and Roxroy are seeing the same thing,
Yeah, they're
they're like, girl, play the idol. Don't let this happen.
And I think that all of this is very interesting. I mean, a ton of stuff is going to just like roll out here. A lot happens.
Yeah.
But I think it's very interesting to watch, because none of this cast saw Survivor 41. They don't know that similar conversations happen. They didn't see Danny break down and everything that Liana said.
Yeah.
But once again, they're shook. And like, Drea never was going to work with Chanel. It never came up that she was like, Black Girl Alliance.
Right.
That was not a thing. But when faced with Chanel and Roxroy sitting right there, she's like, we cannot just keep this going.
Yep. And what she was told was, we're flushing an idol, A, and B, you need to vote for Marianne. So she knows it's me or Marianne in this vote. So she openly says, like you said, I'm playing my idol. I will not be going home tonight. And Marianne turns to Tori and she's like, I cannot put Drea's name down. It's just a different scenario now that this is what we're looking at. So that plan is out the window. I, as a Black woman, cannot write down the name of the other Black woman. And it's also a moot point because she's playing her idol. And then Marianne is like, I have to play my idol too.
Yeah. And okay, I hate this. I hate that Marianne is now being forced to play her idol. But Marianne and Drea are saying stuff from all different angles, like, this is going to be on television and people are going to say it's racist to vote, that Marianne was saved. So Marianne has to play her idol to make sure this doesn't become like whole big racist thing.
That's right.
Which, again, I know we've talked about this before, but like, again, it's just so many layers and levels that they have to consider.
That's right.
Because this is what they face regularly.
Yeah. And that's what, like, we've talked about this before about, like, Survivor is not this, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's not this like pure separate thing. They are carrying in burdens from real life into this game. And they have to be aware of how it's going to be perceived by viewers, right? And so they're saying like, if I don't play my idol tonight now, and I get no votes, and I am safe, people will just say that I played the race card. Yeah. And that's how I saved myself. So I am forced now to give up my idol, even though I may not need to, really. Like Marianne's like, I'm pretty sure I'm good.
Yeah.
But I have to play this now.
Yeah.
I have to give it up.
Oh, I hate this. Yeah. I hate this for everybody involved. And then Jonathan.
Well, this, I mean, it's a little cringe, but I understand, like, it's just it's a lot to like hear all those things thrown out, and to, you know, he didn't really, you know, didn't need to make it about himself in the moment, because it's really not about him. But he's like, well, I'm not a racist. And Dre's like, I literally never said that.
Yeah. She was like, we have to talk about our experience, and you can't take it personally.
Yeah.
Which is a very good note, but it is often us whiteys.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, well, I'm not racist.
Right. And it's like, they did not accuse you of being a racist. Nope. I understand, like, you know, you definitely don't want it to be perceived that way. I understand that instinct, but you just sort of like have to step out. Yeah. I also think you need to take one step aside and look at what it was. It was you saying Dre is the target and Marianne's the backup. And it is because they had idols. I get that's the strategy, but you just, you know, you got to consider, like, there are various ways of reading the situation, you know?
Again, we have to do a lot more listening than talking. And certainly getting defensive doesn't help anything, because it still is that the two black ladies were the targets here. And we're just trying to just step away from that. Is all.
And Marianne gives a beautiful speech about, like, we all had a 1 in 18 shot, but the 1 in 18 shot is bigger and smaller depending on, you know, the sort of like baggage from the real world that you're carrying into the game. And Jeff is like, wow, I never would have been able to articulate that myself. So thank you for laying it out like that. Like, so well said.
Yes.
And then Jeff's like, do we even do the vote?
How do we do the vote now?
Do we really need to go through the pomp and circumstance? And it is this tricky moment where, like, Jeff's, you know, they're like, well, do they just want to play their idols now? And they both kind of like stop and think, like, well, do I really want to go out my idol right now? But they both then are like, yes, let's go. Stand up. Our idols are played. We are safe. Jonathan is now safe. It's Lindsay or Tori.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, 2 idols are played. Lindsay, Tori, and everyone's kind of like, sorry, Tori.
Yeah. Lindsay's like, so I just want to say that, like, I hope you feel like you can trust me and work with me. I've said my piece.
Okay.
And everybody's like, so Tori, it is you that we're going to vote for.
Now, I know, like, Tori's like, Tori handled this well. She's like, I'm not gonna fight. She's like, but I want to fight for my game. So like, can I ask you why? Yeah. And they're like, we don't. I'm just like closer with Lindsay. Like, we don't. You've lied to me. Like, and she's like, okie dokie.
Yeah. But I did love the moment, like, after Lindsay, you know, she's like looking at Lindsay as Lindsay's like, I hope you trust me and I hope you want to work with me. And she's like, back to Jeff. And Jeff is like, that was a long gaze, Tori. And she's like, I'm just collecting my thoughts here, because, you know, she can't come on too strong in this moment. But there's also like nothing really she can say or do in this moment. And she ultimately realizes, like, I just got to play a shot in the dark. Like, that's my last hope. I just was surprised that Lindsay didn't also play it, the shot in the dark.
Oh, yeah. I wondered. You know? I honestly in the moment was like, Tori, I don't know that there's anything else you can do. Yeah. But luckily she remembered the shot in dark, because I didn't remember it in this moment. But they, you know, she's like, okay. And I guess Lindsay was like, look, it's a random shot. So
the odds are not in her favor. Right.
But of course you're like, oh my God, is this the one time?
Lindsay literally has tears in her eyes as, like, Tori's coming back with this scroll, and Jeff is like unfurling it, and it does end up being not safe, but like not one vote cast formally in this. She just played a shot in the dark, and we didn't need to write any names down.
No,
we knew what it was going to be.
Apparently not. Yeah, way to go, Tori. You tried.
You tried.
It wasn't your day. But she said a little something afterwards about like she had a couple saves, like a couple things went her way. And I agree. Like she could have been out many moons ago.
That's right. I know that Tori has not been a favorite of our community, right?
Enjoyed her.
I really have liked her.
Yeah.
And I have been impressed with her being able to scramble her way out of a lot of tough situations. She was on the bottom for so much of this game. And this was one of those rare tribals where literally only 2 people are eligible to go. And it was a 50-50 chance, and she was the one to go.
Yeah, it feels like it's fine. It's her time. Like both of Roxroy and Tori, I'm like, you've run your course. Mm-hmm. You've had a few stumbles, and it just caught up with you. Mm-hmm. And you didn't have a ton of alliances. Yeah. Neither one of them social game was really that great.
No.
To save them. I mean, Lindsay got saved because of her relationships.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Great that Tori won those immunity challenges.
I mean, it's funny to see Roxroy and Tori go back to back because they had not the best relationship, right? You know, they were on their original tribe together. I also did love, you know, going back to when the tribe was walking in, and like Drea shook, Marianne shook, Jonathan shook, that Roxroy's sitting there, and Tori does like a little like, oh, like a little pouty lip, and I'm like, she does not care that Roxroy's sitting on the jury.
No, when they first show us like that tribe walking in and seeing Roxroy and everyone's shocked, like we didn't really get a close up of Tori, and I was like, give me that close up of Tori, because she ain't shocked. No, she is inside celebrating, like, oh my God, they got rid of Roxroy.
She's like, this is the best.
Yes. But then her tribal went a different way, and that worked out.
But it was such a compelling conversation, and they dedicated so much uninterrupted time to it, and there was just so much of Drea saying like, you know, I'm now being perceived as aggressive, and I'm really not trying to be aggressive.
Oh my God. Jonathan said she was aggressive.
I know, there are just so many.
Oh, he played into every stereotype. Yes, and I'm like, this is why it's subconscious.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realize what you're doing.
But that's why it's important for us to see these things play out on TV. Like, you know, it was cringy, a lot of what Jonathan did. And we were like, oh, don't say it.
Don't say it.
But it's also like, it's a moment to learn from, you know, and to see how it's just such a different thing to exist in even this like island, you know, microcosm of society. To exist as a Black person within it is different, you know, than other people.
Right.
So
this is why making that initiative for 50% BIPOC that the reality shows did, the CBS as a network did, is so important, because we didn't have any of these conversations beforehand, and now we get to see it, and as a society learn and grow together.
And they brought up like Omer, I think it was Marianne who brought up Omer, saying like he's the first Muslim who's made it past the merge. Like those are things that that are at the top of their mind, and it's not at the top of, you know, Jonathan, Lindsay, and Tori's minds. But it was really nice to see them sort of finally come around, and you know, Drea saying to Jonathan, like, I love you. I am not accusing you of anything.
Yeah.
This is just my reality, and I want you to understand that. And Lindsay does eventually acknowledge, like, this is a moment bigger than the game, you know? So it was a wonderful conversation, I thought, even as difficult as it was to see Drea and Marianne like go through that and have to like process all of that and try to eloquently communicate what it means to them, and run up against resistance from people who are defensive. You know, the dynamics of it were really interesting to play out, but it's a really valuable TV moment, I think.
Yeah, and I feel I wish that things had gone differently for Chanel, and that she wasn't the first member of the jury sitting there, because Roxroy needed to go. And so I wish that Drea hadn't been so, you know, triggered and upset.
Yeah.
But that is the reality of how it went down. Here we are 2 seasons in a row where this stuff is organically coming up, which just shows us this is a reflection of society.
Yeah.
And this is real, and we all need to listen and grow.
That's right.
Like we already said. But next week, preview, guess what? Shenanigans, people are voting for people, and we got really no specific heads up.
Yeah.
Looks like a normal episode next week. So,
but 2 idols are gone now. Mike is the only one with an idol. I mean, Chanel still has 150 advantages left.
She can still steal somebody's idol.
She
still has that.
Oh, she would do well to steal Mike's idol, I think. Yes. Although maybe she'll be thinking about, like, am I really going to steal an idol from another Black person? You know, like.
Mike's not Black. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Mike is. Is he not?
Is he?
I thought he was. He's a person of color.
Mike? New Jersey Mike?
Am I way off here?
Now I'm like sweating.
Okay, we are going to check on that one. Okay. Mike's not Black?
Linda, thank you.
Okay.
David?
Well,
I don't know what to tell you.
There we are. There we have it.
Wait, but Mike is a person of color? Or are we lolling that he said that? I don't know.
Mike is a fireman. That has nothing to do with it, Joseph.
Puerto Rican. Okay, thank
Scottish
you.
And Puerto Rican.
Thank you, Adrian. Okay, all right, we'll meet in the middle there. Okay.
My bad. Apologies for that.
That's okay.
Excuse my ignorance.
We're not supposed to
We're all learning.
Color, but we are supposed to see color.
We are supposed to. We're supposed to acknowledge it's a real thing.
Color, but not see color. Okay, great.
Mea culpa. Thank you for understanding.
But yes, steal his idol, girl, and save yourself.
Yeah.
If you need to, for sure, do that.
Yes.
All right, we will be back next week, same time, same place.
Yes.
And then tomorrow we will be here for Big Brother Canada,
which is so good, y'all. Join us tomorrow.
We're almost done. Next week is the finale of that. So hop in on that. Thank you guys for everyone who showed up live in the chat. We appreciate it.
We do. And if you're joining us later, let us know what you thought about this episode and this conversation and everything all of that. Let's just break that down and let us know what you think and keep it positive and respectful, please, in the comments. But we want to hear your thoughts on this because it's important to talk about it.
That's right. It is. All right. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.